Have you ever felt like someone or something is watching you in the woods? Not an animal, not a person, something else, something ancient, something hungry. They say once you hear its whisper, once you see its hollow eyes staring back at you, it's already too late. You don't just see the Wendigo, you feel it crawling into your mind, twisting your thoughts, turning hunger into something far worse. People vanish without a sound. Footsteps lead into the darkness, but never return. And those who do come back, they are not the same. They bring the curse with them. Stay with me, because what you're about to hear is not just a story, it's a warning. They say the Wendigo doesn't just haunt the forests, it haunts the mind. Once you hear its voice, once you feel its presence, there's no turning back. It doesn't come with howls or screams. No, it comes in whispers, creeping through the trees, sliding into your thoughts like a shadow that never leaves. There was a man once, a hunter named Elias. He knew these woods better than anyone. He could track a deer through a snowstorm, find his way home blindfolded. But Elias never returned from his last hunt. His friends searched for him, calling his name, their voices swallowed by the wind. Days passed, and hope withered. Then, one night, something came back. Not Elias. His wife was the first to see him. She awoke to the creak of the front door, to heavy, deliberate footsteps. She rushed to the hallway and found him standing there, his clothes torn, his skin pale, his eyes empty. He did not speak, did not blink. He just stood there, breathing too slow, too deep. The sound of his breath rattling like dead leaves in a storm. "Elias?" she whispered. He smiled, but it wasn't his smile. It stretched too far, too wide, revealing teeth too sharp. They found her the next morning, curled in a corner, eyes wide, lips trembling, unable to speak. Elias was gone. The only thing left behind were footprints leading back into the woods. But they weren't human footprints. They were too large, clawed, deep, like something much heavier than a man had walked through. The villagers knew what had happened. They whispered among themselves. The elders said it was the Wendigo, a spirit of hunger, a curse that turns men into monsters. It doesn't just consume flesh. It devours the soul, leaving behind a shell that looks human, but is anything but. And it doesn't stop. People started disappearing. First, a young boy who had gone to fetch water. Then, a trapper who had been setting snares. Each time, they vanished without a sound. No screams, no struggles, just footprints in the snow, leading deeper into the trees. Then, one night, a man named Thomas saw it. He had been checking his traps when he felt it watching him. A presence in the trees. Not an animal, not a man, something else. He turned slowly, and there it was, tall, gaunt, bones pressing against thin gray skin. Hollow eyes sunk deep into a face that barely looked human. Its lips stretched back, its mouth filled with jagged teeth, and when it breathed, the air turned to mist, thick and heavy with decay. Thomas ran. He ran faster than he ever had in his life, branches snapping against his skin, lungs burning. But the Wendigo doesn't chase. It doesn't need to. The moment you see it, it already has you. It slithers into your mind, fills your thoughts with hunger, with whispers that never stop. Thomas made it home, locked his doors, barred his windows. But sleep never came. The whispers were there. They spoke in a language he didn't understand, yet somehow he knew what they meant. They told him things, dark things, horrible things. They told him he was hungry, starving, that the hunger would never stop unless... His wife found him the next morning, standing over their son's bed, knife in hand, shaking, sweating, eyes wide with madness. He didn't know how he got there, didn't remember waking up, didn't remember picking up the knife, but the hunger was unbearable. They say the Wendigo doesn't kill you. It takes you. It turns you into one of them. And once it has you, there's no escape. You become the hunger. You become the whisper in the trees, calling others, luring them deeper, feeding the curse. So if you ever find yourself in the woods, and the night feels too quiet, and the wind carries a voice that isn't there, run. Don't look back. Don't listen. Because the Wendigo doesn't just take your body, it takes your soul. And once it has you, you'll never be human again.